Hello everyone, welcome to the show. It's a fine Sunday morning, and I just decided to upload something for you and for the tech lovers, for the open source lovers, for the internet security enthusiasts, and that's all. And please subscribe me. I'm telling you the first, so you don't forget at the end. So let's get started. Today's topic, what I'm going to discuss with you is that. Um, you may not find I'm looking at the camera because the camera is a little bit on the other side, so that's a big problem. Let me do it. Okay, so here you go. I think that's what I want. Okay, that's fine, I hope. So yeah, that's great. So today I'm going to discuss about the hardware versus the software firewalls. So let's get started with the hardware firewalls first. The importance of the hardware firewalls is that they provide the first line of defense against any common form of attacks, be it sniffing, be it anything from the outside world. Plus, they are generally effective because they require a little or no configuration, and they protect every machine of the local network and on the local network. The hardware firewalls in a typical broadband router uses a technique which is known as packet filtering, which is called as packet filtering, which examines the headers of a packet to determine the source and destination address. This information is compared to a set of predefined or user created rules that determine whether the packet is legitimate or not, and thus it allows the packet or discards it accordingly. So there is a more effective technique which is known as the stateful packet inspection, or the SPI, which looks additional characteristics such as packet's nature and the actual origin, that is where did it came from, it's from the internet or it is outside the internet, or it is outside the local area network or within the local area network, and whether it's coming from a traffic of a response of existing request or outgoing connection, such as a request for a web page or not. And so in a nutshell, we can discuss that the hardware firewall in a typical broadband router is concerned with keeping bad stuff from the outside to get in, and from getting in to your network. And the limitation of this type of firewall is that it is typically treats any kind of traffic traveling from the local area network out to the internet as safe, which can sometimes be a real problem to you. Let's consider a scenario based on this. You can open an email, which you generally do, and you visit a website that contains a hidden or a malicious code or program that designed to secretly get things from your computer to the other PC. That is really a common method of infection. So the hardware firewall barely does provide any protection from that, but because it considers the traffic going outside from my network to the other as legitimate, or it's legit. That's what it thinks. So it allows things to live from my computer to the world, so it would never block. But it can be done by blocking a particular TCP or IP port, but given that there are 65,000 ports all over the internet, this could sometimes be a little bit tricky. So blocking the right port probability is really very slim. So there are this kind of things which are having a disadvantage over the on the hardware based firewalls, and in which the software based firewalls really comes into handy, because the software based firewalls are running on your PC, and it would really know the behavior of the network traffic that can we simply know by inspecting the port on the hardware firewall. So the software firewall really knows whether the traffic is malicious or not. So this, based on these kinds of information, the software firewalls will block the incoming traffic, the outgoing traffic. That's all. That's really very handy when you come over the software firewalls. But but On the other hand, there is a disadvantage which we see, which is that the software firewalls are needed to installed on each and every computer, which can sometimes be a little expensive or a little bit tricky configuring each and every machine, or for using the software firewall, which is time consuming, is costly. uh, you need multiple copies, multiple licenses, and configure them individually on each and every machine, which sometimes gets expensive, difficult to manage. But sometimes we have the business oriented firewalls which provide centralized installation and administration. That's a good thing. But on the overall daily to use, the software firewalls have only this kind of disadvantage. But on the other hand, let's talk about the firewall present in the Windows 7 or Vista, whichever you are using, which doesn't really automatically block the outgoing traffic. It blocks the incoming. It behaves like the hardware firewall. So that's a very good reason you should consider third-party firewall, since they generally both handle out of the box. You can manually configure your Windows firewall for blocking the outgoing traffic, but that's not very user friendly. So that's all for today. Please visit my website, subscribe me. It really helps the content creators like me, sponsor me or donate me. That's all. Thank you for viewing. I hope you have a good time. Subscribe to my channel, I'll really appreciate that.